Representing the Whanganui district, we have Friends of the Opera House.
Tēnā koutou katoa, ngā mihi nui, ko Enet Main Aho, and I am here as the Mayor of Whanganui to introduce the Friends of the Opera House. So we have Margaret and Brian who are going to make the presentation to you. I am just really delighted that one of our beautiful buildings in Whanganui, one of the legacies of our past, is actually being looked after by a group of passionate people who are really demonstrating our philosophy of Whanganui in partnership. So it's over to our team.
Thank you, Annette. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. The construction of this stunning building commenced in July 1899 and it was opened in February 1900 at a cost of £4,598. Now, for the young people in this audience, that actually equates to approximately $9,000 in today's money. Now, let's fast forward to 1988, the year the Opera House was in danger of being demolished. A public meeting was held and a group of 10 people with theatrical and community interests at heart formed a Friends of the Opera House steering committee to preserve the historic building as a full working theatre for the use and enjoyment of the community. This wonderful theatrical facility is known for having some of the best acoustics in New Zealand, and the outstanding acoustic quality has been widely acclaimed by artists such as Dame Malvina Major and the late Sir Howard Morrison. The annual Opera Week held in Whanganui each January, concluding with the New Zealand Opera School concert at the Opera House, was the commencement of the extremely successful journey for the wonderful Solo Mio 4 years ago. And you may well ask, so what is so special and unique about the Royal Whanganui Opera House?
It is the only surviving Victorian-style theatre in New Zealand. The theatre is now 116 years old, and the first theatre in the Southern Hemisphere and the fourth in the world to be powered by electricity. It's unique in the fact that it has a hemp rope system, setting up for stage week concerts. We believe there's only one of 2 theatres in the Southern Hemisphere that has a manually operated hemp system. That looks very hard work, and believe me, it is. Modern theatres today are fortunate to have all theirs controlled by a push of a button. And it is the only building, I'm going to repeat, the only building in New Zealand with a royal charter. This was granted in 1999 by Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II in recognition of its centennial. The name Royal Whanganui Opera House will remain a snapshot in time.
In line with our royal status, His Royal Highness Prince Edward has been our patron since 1990, and when Prince George was born almost 3 years ago, the occasion was celebrated by the exterior of the Opera House being lit up with blue lights. We did cover ourselves, however. We had both pink and blue lights on standby. And what opera house would be without its own resident ghost? The Royal Whanganui Opera House is no different. We have our own Phantom of the Opera called Frank. He's a former manager who passed away in the theatre late one evening back in the 50s. Frank's a friendly ghost who just wants to ensure his theatre is being looked after. And he's been known to appear occasionally checking out his theatre, sitting in the dress circle during rehearsals, or peering out from behind the stage curtains. But he's very shy, so I'm sorry we don't have a photo of Frank. And now, what is special about our volunteers and why do they get involved with the theatre? To quote, they choose to be there because of their love for the beautiful opera house and the experience of working in a live theatre. They're motivated to preserve the old building, keep it well maintained, and in doing so they retained so much history. And they have a desire to encourage young people to develop a love for live theatre. Our volunteers are community-minded people who just get the job done. This ensures that this grand old lady continues to be loved and cherished. We welcome all of our helpers, regardless of their age and abilities, and we do our best to find them a suitable role. Our special needs volunteers have a sense of belonging, and although they have different abilities, they feel part of a team. And every one of our volunteers is as important as each other. The Opera House provides experience for international exchange students, and in fact Julius, our young German student, was presented with our Volunteer of the Year award prior to him returning home to Germany at the end of 2015. We have 112 active volunteers, with our eldest volunteer being 89 years young. And he just loves working there, and in fact he'd put many of our younger people to shame with the variety of tasks he undertakes. We also have our young volunteers who start from intermediate school age as ice creamers. And male or female, they wear the ice cream tray with pride and they love the interaction with the public. Then when they're ready to prepare a CV to enter the workforce, we're happy to give them a written reference confirming their experience with cash handling and dealing with the public. Our dedicated volunteers are passionate about maintaining our beautiful Opera House for future generations. They are the backbone whose work ensures there's a huge cost saving to the local Whanganui ratepayers. Over time, we've awarded 20-year service badges to 20 of our volunteers, which proves the dedication of these men and women who give their time willingly to work at various tasks across the board from front of house to backstage crew. Volunteer hours would average 350 per month, and their assistance was particularly valuable during the 4 months we were closed for earthquake strengthening in mid-2015. This was a time when some amazing history was uncovered during a working bee. A considerable amount of graffiti relating to a bygone era was discovered when panels were uncovered in the basement dressing rooms. Hidden underneath the wall linings were the original walls, complete with old posters, orchestra lists, and signatures from the dressing room occupants dating from the early 1900s. All of these have now been photographed and archived by one of our willing volunteers. But at completion of their evening's work, the backstage crew do take time out to chat and relax over a cuppa. To summarise, our aim is to improve the amenities, appearance, comfort and efficiency of the Opera House, and to promote, foster and encourage the use of the Opera House for all forms of performance, entertainment and community activities. Without the Friends of the Opera House, there would be no volunteers and no Opera House to attract local, national and international artists to the stage in Whanganui. As you can see in this final photo, due to a great deal of hard work by a lot of dedicated people, the Royal Whanganui Opera House continues to stand proud amongst other buildings in the centre of Whanganui.
Now, just to recap, it is through the ongoing efforts of our dedicated team of volunteers that this historical building has been retained for the enjoyment of future generations. Our volunteers are all working towards a common cause, and we trust our presentation here today has conveyed the valuable involvement of the Friends of the Opera House in retaining our historic live theatre for the enjoyment of the citizens of Whanganui and surrounding districts. Thank you.